Hello and welcome to the greatest formerly monthly podcast, now one time only show ever, the Year of Shame Challenge 2. And that's not just me blowing my own trumpet. It wouldn't be this great podcast if it wasn't for my fantastic co-hosts, Colm and Justin. Hello, guys.
How's it going?
I'm okay, Colm.
Okay, it's going to be emotional.
It's the end of an era.
It is, but you know, all good things and all that jazz, as they say. I don't think that's the saying, really.
It's good enough.
I think we'll let you work with that. You carry on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm rusty, guys. It's been however many months. I've settled into married life, of which podcasting is not part of.
No, definitely not.
So,
Did we not live through that?
yeah, you were all part of that journey as well. Anyway, guys, why don't we skip straight into what have we been playing?
Can you turn your Xbox off, you amateur?
Oh, that was AC Fury. That was Fury AC3, though.
You're supposed to be hosting a show, not playing online.
I'm not playing. My back's to the TV. Okay, without further ado, let's go on to what have we been playing. Justin.
Oh, no, you want to tell us what you're playing right now, because clearly...
Nothing, it's off now. I'll tell you what I was playing when it gets to my turn.
Fair enough.
Oh, God.
The
One
stress.
of those days, is it? Whew.
Okay.
This is why I got out of the podcast game. It's too much.
Right.
Okay, Justin, what have you been playing?
I have been playing, most recently, Dragon Age Inquisition. And also slightly less recently. In fact, actually, more recently than that, in a weird kind of, it's an old game, but I'm playing it now, Half-Life 2 Episode 1.
Okay.
Because, as you may remember on the show, I played Half-Life 2, and then I left Episode 1, and I left Episode 2. And, I thought I'd finally finish them off. And I've also been playing some Destiny and other games which I've been playing but put far less time into that deserve a mention is Binding of Isaac Rebirth, which I'm preferring playing on the Vita to other ways to play it, which I'll come on to later. And I've also been playing XCOM Enemy Within, where Colm's character is somehow alive despite getting killed in action, thanks to me forgetting that the game didn't actually autosave.
It's okay.
Oh.
I assumed it was an autosave game, and so, when his guy got shot, I finished the mission, I turned it off, and then when I turned it back on, I was 3 months earlier in the campaign, and I'd lost like the last 3 hours worth of game. So, the
upside was Colm was alive.
He was, but then when he went through his first mission, he suddenly got a different class to what he was the first time round, which was a bit odd.
That makes no sense.
I don't make much sense.
No, you don't. The outtakes from last week's Last Save Loaded will show you that. And I still think it's a great game. Just that moment of loss when you name a character after someone, you nurture them, bring them through the ranks, and then they get shot in the face by everything on the board. And, you can say goodbye to all that investment. I just don't have the guts to play through on, like, Iron Man mode or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, no chance. Everyone would be dead. It'd be too much of an emotional ride.
There is a trophy or an achievement you can get for having one player survive the entire campaign and go on every mission.
Wow. You're not going to be unlocking that anytime.
Well, not unless you leave someone at the drop zone and just try and do the entire campaign with just 3 players and just leave the other one safe. But in this new one, that you have stealthed enemies that just materialise halfway around the map, so less likely to happen. But
that sounds intense.
yeah, but
can you then steal that technology though later down the line?
I don't know if you can steal it, but you can certainly unlock your own abilities which can reveal stealthed enemies.
Oh, okay.
So that could be quite funny because you can shoot them and they don't think they can be shot.
Yeah, that's quite funny. I like that.
So yeah, I've probably put some time into other games, but they're the ones that that I'm conscious that I've played in the last sort of 2-3 months since we recorded.
So you said you were going to talk more about Binding of Isaac. What's whipped you this time?
Well, it's actually the big difference is the control method.
Yeah.
I'm not a mouse and keyboard player, and I'm certainly not a arrow keys and then trying to WASD on the other hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense in my hands, and
no, me neither. Although
I did find it better when I eventually worked out how to map my PS3 fight stick onto the PC. It just felt like it was too much like hard work. So having face buttons on one hand and D-pad on the other, it just feels much more comfortable on the Vita.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Even though I finished the PC, I think I talked about my issues with it. Like, it's not the easiest thing to play on a laptop keyboard, or any keyboard for that matter. So yeah, I totally get that. But I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it a bit more.
I think it very much is a case of realistically by the end of the second stage whether you should keep going with that character or just wipe it and start again.
Yeah, it's almost like it sets you up to fail sometimes. Well, not to fail, but the odds are stacked against you unless you're an extremely prolific player. You're not going to get through sometimes with the hand you're dealt, kind of.
Well, there are some pickups, like you might end up with like Tiny Planet or something like that as a pickup, which will spin all your shots around you.
Yeah. That one's useless. Yeah.
Well, it's very useless if you're playing as Kane, where you only shoot out of one eye.
Yeah.
Or the Are You a Wizard mode, where it spins at 45 degrees rather than straight. You can end up sort of semi-screwed before you start. And on the other hand, once you've unlocked Azazel, you pretty much have easy mode. And it feels like cheating.
Tips it the other way, yeah. But then I guess that's how people do multiple runs and learn different things. Like, use that character to learn more.
Yeah.
To inform other runs as other characters, I suppose.
I find I'll play it for a bit, and then when I've died and, after I've rage quit, I just go back to play as Azazel just to get through to kill Mum's heart and go, ha! Yeah, I feel good now.
The spirit of Christmas, killing Mum's heart.
Yeah, but so far I've only made it to Satan once, and after killing the mini Satans and stuff, he then stood on my head and killed me. Because you get the big foot comes down as the second stage of the big Satan fight. So yeah, that's what I've been dabbling with.
What about? Are you whole hog Destiny? Have you just bought the DLC that just came out, or?
I have bought the DLC, and in the raid that we did last night, we've actually made it to Crota, the last boss of the new raid. This one is very, very much more of an effort to get through than the last one, because there's a really, really dark area where you just get swarmed by enemies, so you have to work as a team or develop tactics to get through it. Whereas the last one, once you'd done a few runs, you could pretty much, well, not cheat, but solo a lot of it. And what we've also found getting to the last stage is if you're doing it at level 30, yeah, you can get to the last boss, but realistically, you're not going to be strong enough to do any damage to it. And unfortunately, because of the stupid way it gives you the level up system, on your gear rather than on your basic ability, it does somewhat stump your development in that. Sorry, stunt your development. But they have finally fixed it where if you equip some new gear that you pick up halfway through the raid, you don't drop 2 levels by using it, which is what used to happen.
Oh, okay.
Because you used to have investment in the gear that you've got, so when you put on a new piece of gear, which with no investment, it took you backwards, basically. So you ended up not equipping the brand new stuff, which was a bit retarded.
Yeah, very dumb.
So I
just have one.
Go on.
Oh, go on.
All I was saying is, so I found that I'm paying for the raid, but I'm having worked through the new story sections. I'm not playing it much else. I'm putting my time into Dragon Age now.
I just had one question about the raids. You're the first person I've spoken to that's kind of played a lot of it. Do you think they made the right decision in not allowing like matchmaking and that you have to play with people you kind of know and can talk to and stuff?
With the way that it's random number generated on the gear and the loot and things, it does mean that you're not going to get someone in there who's massively over-leveled, who's just going to walk out if you don't do it all first time. Because that's, like, having spent many years playing World of Warcraft, that's what you ended up with when they went to a looking for raid system. You'd have people that are just, constantly running ahead, going, come on, keep up with me. And if you didn't, they'd then, shout abuse at you like the sort of thing that you'd see on Dota games and, very, very harsh words. And they wouldn't, nurture the new talent, whereas the raids I've been on, we have had some people that have never been there before, and we have sort of pretty much, walked them through saying, right, you're going to stand there, you're going to see this happen, you do that. And it's a learning process rather than, keep up or die. And I think that you would have far too much variation between people that are impatient or people that don't know any better and aren't being given the opportunity to learn.
Okay, cool. I just wondered. I haven't even reached a level where I'd be doing them yet. I kind of fell by the wayside, but it's good to know.
I mean, the old raid, I think people will start just doing it for fun, but the new one is definitely a better mechanic raid. Okay. Although there is one
puzzles and stuff as well, or something.
Well, no, there's bits where the place is so dark that you don't know where you're going. And then there's also bits where you have to control certain platforms to build a bridge, and then you've got to get onto the other side of the bridge and split your team up, and each person's got their own role in it. Whereas in the old one, you could kind of just go, if you can kill everything, you can probably solo it. As has been seen by people making videos of themselves doing that.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, I'm enjoying the raid, but mainly because I'm playing with people. I think it's... Unless you have the frame of mind of, I'm going to needlessly grind over and over and over again, then I can't see it capturing you. But it's a fickle beast, because loads of people go on moan about, it's the biggest overrated game ever. But then people like me still buy the DLC. And you kind of think, well, on one hand you're saying it's not the greatest game, but on the other, you're still investing in it and going back every week.
And perpetuating them, making more of the same content.
Yeah, it's like...
similar amounts of money.
It's like people buying FIFA,
Yeah.
FIFA 15, there's a lot of people moaning about it, but they've still bought it and they've still got off and spend loads of money on Ultimate Team packs and things like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't change the situation, doesn't make it any better. It just means that you're playing it, despite the fact you're moaning about it not being great, but you're still playing it.
Yeah, I, for the record, like FIFA 15, just whilst we're on it. I think it's better than 14.
I haven't really played one since 13.
Oh. Well, having played 13, 14, 15, I think 15's perhaps my favourite of the bunch. My previous favourite was 07.
My previous favourite was FIFA 95.
Oh, yeah.
The isometric view.
Yeah. Had some fun playing them recently. They haven't aged well.
They've not.
They're pretty terrible, actually.
Yes.
Sensible Soccer has aged much better.
I have to admit, watching your extra live stream where you played various different football games, that was quite amusing.
Well, actually, I've missed that off what we've picked up. But we've got more football games planned for next year. Just because it was such a hit.
Well, it was one of you scoring a lot and the other one throwing their toys out the pram.
Yeah. Admittedly, well, I got lucky in a couple of them. Like both games of FIFA we played, I scored a last-minute goal.
Yeah.
One of the other games, maybe it was World Cup '94. I think I scored late on as well. Sensible Soccer was a complete mismatch. I was way too good at that. And then me and my friend Chris are actually pretty even at FIFA 15, but I absolutely slaughtered him for that game.
Yeah.
Just one of those things. I was having a good day for the kids. So what have you got next to talk about, Justin?
I wasn't going to invest more time in talking about Dragon Age because I suspect that my colleague Mr. Sheridan is going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As might you be.
Yes, I may well be. Why don't we speak to our illustrious colleague Colm then and see what he's been playing?
Because he's being quiet and we're hogging the microphone, so why don't we keep him quiet a bit longer?
Yeah, shut me up.
Colm, tell us what you've been playing, mate.
I've been playing Dragon Age, as has Justin, and I'm sure yourself. I
have been.
I've just done about 10 hours of that. I'm on about level 7 or 8 or something like that, but I'm just wandering around and enjoying it.
Have you left the hinterlands?
I was going to say, have you left the hinterlands? That's always the first question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen a dragon yet?
Not yet.
Because I told you when I...
Yes, you did.
I went to do a Scout the Coast one, and I was merrily walking along the coast, and I saw some like giant hurling boulders at a dragon, and they were having a fight, and Cassandra just kind of went, okay, so the trick here is don't get killed.
Yeah, just run away, man. Just run away, I've heard.
Yeah, so we just stood there watching them have a fight for a while, and I was thinking if one of them gets the other nearly dead, I might run in at my level 6 team and take a shot and try and steal the kill. But the dragon just got up and flew away. So then the monster started throwing boulders at us, and that's when we ran away. Yeah,
just run, man. I've heard that. If you come near a dragon, just leave it alone. It. It'll speak to you and it'll just kill you in one shot.
And then we found one in the hinterlands.
I was just going to say there's one in the hinterlands that almost instant kills you if you try to run past it, kind of.
It's near one of the camps, and like where you have to clear some raiders out. And so we went into that area, and we just had I think it was Varric just kind of went up and away, and as it flew off.
So you've just mentioned the comments. It's something I always struggle with these games because it's like all the they're really good at writing these side characters and all these little comments, and you can't help but feel you miss out on some
by who you take.
Because I didn't have Varric with me then when I saw that Hinterlands dragon, so I didn't get that comment. I can't even remember who I did have, but that whatever it was obviously going to stick in my memory. Whereas Varric sounds quite funny.
What you're saying about the characters though? Troy Baker plays Sarah, doesn't he? He does the voice of Sarah, and
as with every other character in every other game.
Now, come on, he's not Nolan North. But I just found, as good a voice actor as Troy Baker is, Sarah's just dull as hell, isn't he?
I don't have him in my party ever.
And there is my point. You have no interest in doing so.
No. But then his character design's boring too. You're just a boring guy.
I haven't recruited anyone else yet. Well, not that I can take into the party.
Oh, okay. Because last night I got the achievement for recruiting everyone and was a bit surprised because I'm not that far into the game, and I was surprised that had already happened.
No, I've recruited some people to the Inquisition, but not to my playable team.
Agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Colm, have you found like you've gone to seal some rifts and you've seen it on the map? You think, I'll go over there, and suddenly the people or the monsters that come out are far too high for you and pretty much wipe out your entire party really quickly.
Yeah, I try it once, and if I get murdered, I just walk away.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way. There's a couple of times where I came along and said, that looks easy enough. And it just wasn't happening. I got murdered. You sort of get the first wave, you can kill them, but then when the second wave comes, you're just annihilated. I don't know. So I gathered that I wasn't up a level enough to take them on, so I just walk away.
Yeah.
So really enjoying it now. It's gone back to Dragon Age Origins approach rather than Dragon Age 2, and I can see myself spending the rest of my life playing this game nearly.
Have you got yourself a horse yet?
No, not yet. No.
Yeah, you got to go and see the horse master and get yourself a horse, and then you can go horse racing. The girl on the stable sets up a track for you to go racing round.
Endless horse racing.
Yeah.
She seems to want to just do it forever.
That's it. And every time you go back,
I did the horse racing. Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I remember that because I said that's a bit funny. Went back to her again. Do it again.
That means you might not have done it fast enough the first time.
Yeah, well, I did. I did it twice, and I beat the time the second time around. But I don't know.
Okay.
Well, that's when you should just be able to summon the horse after that. Once you talk to her dad, he sort of says, there's a horse in the stables for you.
Alright, cool. I remember that one. And then I've sort of gone back into my Nintendo phase again, where I've been playing a lot of my Wii U. I finished Assassin's Creed 3 on the Wii U.
Nice.
Yeah, enjoyable. I put about 30 hours into that game. Probably because I'm so bad. The last time I was talking to Justin, I was at a particularly pain in the ass spot of the game where you have to chase down the lads before they get to your camp or something like that. It was a pain. And I just got off I was just on the podcast with Justin. I just got off it and I just went upstairs and kept playing until I got it. So I got it anyway. So then because I have loads of Zelda games and I've yet to finish one, to my shame, I'm playing Twilight Princess as well.
It's not to your shame, it's to my sympathy.
Yeah, so Twilight Princess.
How is Twilight? I've been thinking of replaying Twilight Princess recently, but then don't want to do all the motion stuff.
Yeah.
How's it been?
Yeah, really enjoyable. I got the first section, the first light goddess. I'm about 6 or 7 hours into it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have the experience I have, you'll get to a point where you think, I finished the game, and that's when it's like, no, all you've done is unlock the ability to switch between wolf and human at will. And now the game's really going to begin, and you're like, oh god, have I got to play this for another 12 hours?
But it's a great... I just love it. I like it.
It starts off alright, but things like tipping over the cows, that takes a while to work out how to do that with the wagon control.
Well, some people are better at waggling than others.
Yeah, I must admit, I don't waggle enough.
Anyway, enough of the dirty talk. I'm also playing Dead Island Riptide on Steam. Picked that up a while back. And still playing Fantasy Life. About 30 odd hours into that. Love it.
Still enjoyable? You're not finding like it's not been like how Animal Crossing eventually like boredom kind of sets in?
No, not so far, no. I think it's more it's better than Animal Crossing in that respect, because you've got missions to do and side quests and stuff like that. It's not something I play every day religiously or anything like that, but I pick it up now and play a few hours. Mm-hmm. It's quite enjoyable. The music's great and characters are great. And I finally finished one of your games, Adam, that you gifted me. Stanley Parable. Well, I finally played it.
Okay. That's what I was about to say. How many times have you finished it?
About five times.
Oh, okay.
It was quite funny. Like, the narrative is very funny, and
It's brilliant. It's one of my favourite games.
It's quite.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It doesn't take long to
played
finish.
it.
It only takes about half an hour to not even that, to finish the first trip. But it's going back and doing it again, and I think there's one achievement in Steam that you come back after 5 years to play it again, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was telling just on one of the other podcasts, there's an achievement to knock on this door 10 times, and then he comes back and says, "Yeah, don't be silly, you're not getting it that easy. Now go and knock on the other door 20 times." And then when you knock on that door 20 times, you go back to that door. Jeez.
Yeah. But you get it in the end. He's true to his word.
Yeah. I didn't bother going back because he was just annoying me so much. So.
No, I did it. You get the achievement eventually. He makes you do all sorts of crap.
And
very
like,
funny.
then you play it again, and he draws arrows for you to go around and follow this.
Yes.
Yeah. It's quite funny. Yeah. So I finished that because that was one of the games you gifted me for my birthday, I think.
Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, very funny. That's it, really. One of the other games I picked up is, I'll talk about that when we go to pick up, I suppose. So, okay. Adam, what have you been up to?
So, I'll kind of a bit like Justin, I'll mention some highlights of stuff I have played in the last couple of months and beaten. I beat Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor. Very enjoyable game.
Okay, let me. How many hours does it take to finish that game?
Maybe about 30.
All right.
I'd say, because I got quite into that Nemesis system thing and kind of beat the Nemesis system before I went through parts of the story.
Okay.
Which kind of screwed me over in some ways.
So when you kill the four of them, what happens then? If you don't mind, is that the end of the game then? When you kill the four?
No.
All right, grand.
No.
Okay.
There's kind of a twist, I guess.
All right,
which
okay.
changes the Nemesis system a little bit.
All right.
And then you kind of have to do the whole process again.
Yeah,
But that's where I kind of got screwed over, because I'd already put my own people in place, because I'd already beaten all of the four before the story reached it. So then it promoted people to the four and made me do it again. Kind of.
All right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that game. The Nemesis system is clever. I hope we see other uses for it that aren't just outright copying it. I know like a few websites ran stories like, oh, here's top 5 games that could use the Nemesis system. But yeah, really fun game. Up there with my game of the year, along with Sunset Overdrive. What a fun, stupid game that is. Honestly, so much fun. So many stupid little references and stuff. The sense of humour's like nailed it. It's not like, I know people, there was Matt Hazard, was it, on the PS3 and 360 that was kind of like, oh, video games are dumb.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is an elevator I'm stuck in, and then it'd make you stand in an elevator. It's kind of a level above that, because it's the humour's a bit cleverer and a bit more on the nose. There's funny things like it mentions NeoGAF as a butt of a joke about people complaining. Uses weapon wheel as a weapon in one part. It's really fun. So anybody that didn't pick it up or didn't play it in the free weekend they did to celebrate a year of Xbox One, keep your eyes out for it going cheap. Definitely good. Hope they make a sequel. There's tons of things they could still do with it. I'm looking forward. There's some story DLC coming out on the 23rd. Looking forward to picking that up.
Is it online only?
No, you play a single player. How it works is there's missions dotted around the city that are called Chaos Squad missions, and when you pick those missions, then you bob into an online mode with 7 other people, and it's kind of this. It's almost like a tower defense thing where you can all plant like gadgets, and then just the infected come running towards you, and you're all blasting away. It's quite chaotic with 8 people. I played a couple of games, but it was one of them. Like, I know you can mute them, but once you've started the game, it kind of gets you're not in the mood. Once you've heard it a couple of times, even after you've muted them, you're kind of like, oh god. So, yeah, it just seems. I swear, I've somehow managed to connect to the same kid like 4 times. We've also finally finished Borderlands 2.
Okay, how'd you find that?
Kind of. I love Borderlands. I like the writing. I think it's funny. I like the graphical style. I like all the weapons. I'm not sure if it's the best open world game. Whether maybe they need somebody better to come and design the open world, or whether they need it to just not be an open world game. There's just too much, especially towards the end. It's like the pointer's pointing you towards the fast travel point. It's like, here, use this fast travel point to get to this place, because it kind of knows that it's going to be boring if you have to jump in a car and traverse the whole thing, because it's not really properly open world. Like, you have to go to one zone to get to another zone to get to another zone, and they kind of realise their own shortfalls. And then I wonder, why is it even open world? It doesn't need to be. I still enjoyed it. It's like 35 hours that was a bit too long.
Bit of a slog.
So, yeah. And then the other mention, something I only played recently. It was in a Stars bundle, I think, and it's called Craven Manor. And it's one of these, a bit like Amnesia and Outlast, like a no combat horror game. And it was pretty fun. It had quite a cool twist ending. Nothing special, like it's you going round, you got to hide from the monsters when they appear, you're picking up objects. But it was fun enough, atmospheric. Only an hour and a half long, but worth a quick mention. And what I'm currently playing, we already talked about Dragon Age, and last night, or the night before, I finished the first episode of Tales from the Borderlands, and really enjoyed it. They've done a really good job of creating their own characters in the Borderlands world. Like, you get to play a Hyperion employee, and it's a fun twist on what you expect from the Borderlands games. Like, you're so used to playing a Vault Hunter who just kills people. Seeing it from the other point of view, you kind of get to see how Hyperion think that Vault Hunters aren't all that good. And they may be bad guys. I've also been playing Geometry Wars 3. Geometry Wars has a cool mission structure. I've been enjoying the achievement hunting and leaderboard chasing to get more stars and everything. And it's also got the original old modes in it, so that's pretty fun. I've got another friend who's getting an Xbox One for Christmas, and he's pretty into Geometry Wars, so I'm looking forward to him getting it so that we can play against each other and stuff. And then the last game I'm currently playing, which is my game to play when the TV's in use by the missus, so I can't play Dragon Age. On the laptop, I am playing South Park Stick of Truth.
How far in?
Not that
How far?
Like 2 hours, maybe.
Okay.
I like it. I'm not a fan of South Park, but I don't even know where South Park's up to, whether it's a bit like The Simpsons and Family Guy, where people kind of say, oh, it's not as good as it used to be. But this is, as somebody coming to South Park for the first time in a very long time, it's pretty funny. So yeah, it's a turn-based RPG, which, as I've discussed before, I'm not all that much of a fan of. I've said before, Justin, when you've been talking about some of your turn-based RPGs, it's a bit boring to me. Like, I can't get my head around these complex battle systems and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is kind of my level, a bit like how Child of Light was. Like, I can live with this. So yeah, and that's everything I've been playing, guys. So, without further ado, and without any more hiccups, we're going to say it's our favourite time of the show. Colm, you know what part of the show it is. It's what have we picked up? So, Colm, why don't you tell us what have you picked up in the last few months?
Okay.
I'm just going to kick back and listen.
Yeah, well, it's got to be short and sweet, because I must have a reversible brain or something, because during my year of shame, as you well know, one of the highlights was College Confessions, and the last 3 months I've been very fucking good, actually. I haven't really picked up much. Well, from what I can remember, I haven't picked up much. Just the DLC for Mario Kart 8 because I couldn't resist.
So is this the Link on the bike and stuff? And
Yeah.
the F-Zero track and
Yeah,
all that?
which I have to get around to playing the extra tracks. That wouldn't surprise anybody that knows me. Hyrule Warriors DLC. Well, I had that pre-ordered, I think. I bought the bundle at 12 quid a while back. That might have been while I was doing my year's shame, I'm not sure. I don't think so, but... And just Valiant Hearts, which was going really cheap on Xbox One a couple of month or two ago, I think. It was only going for like 4 or 5 quid or something like that. And I've played a little bit of that, really enjoyed it, as I just loved Child of Light, like, you know, as much as a lot of people hate Ubisoft, these type of games are just, you know, they're just great. You know, Child of Light was probably my game of the year this year. You know, I would have put Dragon Age up there, but I haven't finished it, so that'll probably be my game of the year in 2020 when I get around to finishing it. So
your old game of the year or something.
Yeah, because it took me 5 years to finish Dragon Age Origins, so I'm assuming it'll take me the same. And that's it. Now, my son has picked up a few games. He's picked up GTA and Far Cry 4 because it was his birthday last month, so I haven't got to play them yet. So, much to his disappointment, you know, I finished Assassin's Creed 3 and he's looking at me going, "You're such a loser, Dad. What are you playing Assassin's Creed 3 for when you've got some great games up in the Xbox One and blah de blah." So, yes, surprise, surprise, lads. Unless Justin has sent me some stuff in the post that I can't remember, but he has sent me a nice game. That's for Christmas. That's a present. That's under the Christmas tree. So that does not count. I haven't picked it up yet. It's still under the Christmas tree. And yeah, that's it. I've been very good actually. But you know, I'm starting my year of shame next year in January, as you well know. And
so I'll look forward to listening to Colm's confessions.
No, there won't be, because I'm afraid Stuart will condemn me to hell or something like that. You know, he's a very scary man. So no, I am going to be a good boy. So yeah, that's it. I've been very good. Justin, God, jeez, that's a list and a half you got there.
Okay, so toward the end of the last episode of YoS 2, I believe I was deliberating on when I picked up my PS4, or did I pick it up? Was I going to? And I think most people by now have realised that I did indeed get the Destiny PS4. And with that, Killzone Shadowfall for the grand total of £8.
Wow, that dropped quick.
Yep. And that was sealed as well. Still sealed now, so I've not played it.
Okay.
Our good friend who sent us Ride to Hell, Stuart, he was very kind enough to send me the copy of Drive Club, the promotional copy that he won by entering a Twitter competition, that I gave him some stick about why you enter in a competition if you don't even have an Xbox, if you don't even have a PS4. And
he's never likely to get one either, but it sounds of it.
Yeah, and you're unlikely to get one, so he, after a while, he very kindly said, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Thank you very much." Diablo 3, which I said I was going to get with the console. Dragon Age Inquisition, which, I said I've been playing. All the PS Plus games since we've finished recording, because I'm still paid up until January. And just to keep things on the 7th generation, I did also pick up Persona 4 Arena Ultimax on the PS3.
Is this a beat 'em up?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the sequel to Persona 4 Arena, which I played last year.
Okay. Yeah, I remember us talking about it.
Yeah. And so far on that, I've played through the Persona 4 side of it, and I haven't yet played through the storyline with the Persona 3 characters, because basically that unlocks when you played the first half of it. So, It's pretty much the same as the last game, but a little bit more crazy, if that's at all possible, and more characters. So, yes, I possibly picked up some extra games. I don't know, but that's everything that I'm aware of that I picked up.
Okay. Cool.
Apart from the package that I have under my proverbial Christmas tree, which has arrived courtesy of my good friend Colm there, who just this last week said, "Would you like this?" And I went, "I shall not say no. Thank you very much."
You never say no.
I sometimes say, "I couldn't ask you to do that. I won't object if you do that."
Excuse me, hold on a minute. Stop that. Cut that out now.
Yeah, so Colm, did you say what game I've got you?
No.
Okay, I won't say what you got.
Doesn't matter. I know. You know what I got you. It doesn't matter.
Well, you know what I've got you.
And I know what you got me.
Yeah, I think this is going around in circles here.
Yeah, okay. Cut. Adam.
Struggling to keep up. I can't do what. Anyway, yeah. Hi, Colm.
What have you picked up?
Okay, well. I picked up Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, which we just talked about. I picked up Sunset Overdrive. I have an EA Access game subscription, which is quite handy because there's lots of cool games that have been coming via that. Only one of which I've actually finished, which is Peggle 2. But I'm gonna try and play Need for Speed Rivals soon. Fan of Burnout Paradise and then Need for Speed games, so that's on my list to try and play. Picked up Master Chief Collection. I finished Halo on it. Tried to play multiplayer, got sick of it, haven't been back. Have heard that it's kind of gotten better, so I will go back to it perhaps over the holidays. I picked up Dragon Age that we already talked about. I picked up both the new Telltale games, so I talked about Tales from Borderlands. I also picked up Game of Thrones, but I haven't really touched it because I'm trying to catch up with the TV series, because I understand it sits between 2 of the seasons and I'm not up to date with it. I've done pretty well. I watched seasons 1 and 2 in the last week and a half.
Any good?
Oh yeah, this is my 3rd time of trying to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's finally the time. It's finally clicked this time, and I'm actually enjoying it. I liked it in principle before. I could just never get into it. And some of the, I guess, graphic scenes are not damn squeamish or anything, but it's not really my kind of thing.
You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it when you get to Series 3 then.
I don't mind it. It's just some of the things, like, I don't know. It's almost like it deals with kind of taboo subjects, and it's like, do I really want to be sat, like, the missus has got no interest in watching it, so then I'm sat watching on my laptop while she's watching whatever, and she peers across, and it's like, what the hell is going on that screen? It makes it look I'm into, like, some sort of weird fantasy fetish or something. And, like, you know, but now I'm over it. Now I'm just like, no, I actually enjoy this. I like all this politics and stuff. So yeah, so I'm pretty much nearly catching up to the point where I could play the game. So I haven't played that yet. I picked up Tetris Unlimited the other day, just for a bit of Tetris on the side, you know.
Mm-hmm. On Xbox One.
Smash Brothers. Yeah, the Xbox One version. Yeah. I think you can play it snapped, which is quite handy for when you're watching TV. I'm yet to try that. Picked up Smash Brothers on the 3DS. That was mostly because during Extra Life we had a friend come round who wanted to play fighting games, so I was like, I'll get Smash Brothers so we can definitely play that, because I knew he had it.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah, you know, that's the kind of guy I am. I've picked up all the games with gold freebies that have come along the way. I've even started banking the 360 ones in case I ever decide to get a 360. Just banking the ones I would want to play. And then I also picked up iDub, which I don't know if either of you have heard of.
No.
So I got this free by harassing them on Twitter and retweeting stuff, and they were like, thanks for promoting our game, here's a free code. It's not actually out till February. It's kind of a Twitter created esports game, a bit like, I don't know, like a 2D Speedball or something, where you're trying to throw a ball into a net, kind of. And it got made by Twitter they just started with a blank screen with a red box, and they said, right, suggest where you want this game to go, and then it kind of became this big thing. It has the best Twitter integration of any game. Whilst people can watch your game and then like stream, like put hashtags that change the game. So like if they write hashtag clowns, every character turns to a clown, and like that music plays whilst you're trying to play. Weird things like that. It's fun. On the PC, I picked up quite a few things. Like I already said, South Park. I picked up Outlast, a horror game, which I finished. Picked up Jazz Punk for $5, which I finished the same day I bought it. And I also bought The Escapists, which is by Team 17, who made Worms, or famous for making Worms. Made the Alien Breed games back in the day. They made Super Frog, all sorts of cool games on the Amiga. And it's like a, I guess, pixelated version of Escape from Alcatraz, and you're playing a guy trying to escape from prison whilst also maintain his life in the prison for as long as he needs to. It's really fun, but I'm not very good at it. I haven't once escaped a prison yet. There's multiple prisons, and I ain't escaped from any of them. But fun. Keep getting all my items stolen when I think I'm just getting somewhere and I can finally like try and sneak my way out. I'll get busted and they take all your equipment from you and put you in solitary confinement. And that is about it. I picked up a couple of the other. There's been a few humble bundles done. So there was one that was like a horror one that had Five Nights at Freddy's and Knock Knock and stuff on it. That's about it though, really. I'm just scrolling up the rest of my list. Yeah, that's about it. So all in all, not bad. Oh, I picked up the Sega Humble Bundle that was a few weeks ago because I have never finished Sonic Adventure. And that was part of the bundle, so I'm going to try and play that.
Oh, I wouldn't lose any sleep over that one.
No, again, that's one I've tried to get into in the past and just never gotten into.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try it again. I feel like for posterity, that's what I'm all about now, creating history. I should play it, or recreating history. So, that's everything for what we've picked up. How did that feel? It was guilt-free, Colm.
Yeah, for once, yeah. It certainly was, coming from me anyway. I'm sorry if the listeners are disappointed, but I did have Games of Gold, of course, but I didn't mention that for, you know what I mean. My PS Plus subscription is no more now, so I won't be getting any more PS Plus games, so yeah, that's it. Okay, I feel clean now.
Cool. Wow, let's from feeling clean, let's go into our extended thoughts and feelings and musings now that this challenge is over. Justin, how do you feel?
Well, I had a bit of a revelation across the course of the year where I said that my reason for doing the challenge was to play the games on my backlog and to stop myself just kind of impulse buying games. Mm-hmm. So toward the end of this challenge, I thought that I would probably have a month to go crazy and catch up with the latest generation, and then go on to do a pound a day challenge. And
yeah,
that's I wouldn't say it's actually gone quite to plan. Because,
so?
Justin Knowles told me recently that his $1 a day challenge he abandoned with about a month or two to go because he found himself several $100 in credit.
Okay.
And I and a couple of other people kind of replied to him and sort of said, but surely that means you won your challenge? You haven't spent all that money? But what I found is, even doing it for 2 months, I've ended up with all those games that I mentioned just now. I know for a fact that I can expect at least another 2 games for Christmas off different people. And not to mention the inevitable PS Plus games that will come through. That I feel cured of the need to buy games, because when people are talking about the latest game, I know I'm going to have like another 30 hours of Dragon Age to play. I know I've got a ton of time still to play on Diablo 3. So I'm finding that I'm playing the games that I want to play, and that was what I wanted to do. The other thing that I discovered, like I've just mentioned earlier about playing Destiny, that to begin with, yes, I played it a lot, and I was trying to level up my character, and then when I got it to level 30 just before they raised the level cap, I guess I kind of felt like I'd done what I intended to do with the game, and now I'm playing it for the sake of helping out people on their raid. But other than that, I'm not playing it solidly. So
Okay.
in terms of persevering with a game that I'm midway through just because I'm playing it, therefore I must have to finish it, which is how I used to operate a game, I'm getting a lot more comfortable with the idea of, okay, well, I've got a lot of other better game, or a lot of other games that I could consider, so why don't I play something different for a bit and either find myself engrossed in it, or think, okay, well, that hasn't gripped me, I'll move on to something else. And I've just found that I'm not putting myself out by forcing myself to play games that I probably wouldn't really play if it came to it. And by that token, I'm not buying games that people are talking about just because they're talking about it. Like, I know, as an example, there was a lot of people that were talking about Alien Isolation. And recently that came down to sort of £25. And I thought, I have no interest in playing it whatsoever. It doesn't appeal to me. I've seen some reviews that people, didn't put so much faith in because they dared to challenge the game very critically harshly. But when I read that review, I think it was IGN gave it like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. When I read it, I actually felt like a lot of the points they made echoed with how I suspected I would find the game. And it's like, no, it just has no interest in me. Yes, I appreciate that there are certain people, that are hosts on other podcasts that talk about it and say how they adore the game, but it doesn't hold any interest for me in the slightest. And the fact that I recognise that I have no interest in playing something that just doesn't grip me in the first place, or doesn't tug at that, hey, look, it's available for you, I am a changed man, and that's all down to this experiment of speaking to you guys once a month for the past 18 months.
Wow.
Oh, that's a revelation.
And obviously the the japery and constant badgering from the Twitter fans and emailers, of which I think this experience would have been completely different if we didn't have so much support from them.
It could have been worse in my case.
Well, how could it be worse than being sent right to hell?
I was wondering when that was going to come up again. We both finished it, but
exactly. And my old mentality would be, I've got it, I'm going to play through it. At no point did I consider ditching that game, but now I'd be like, oh, I'm getting stuck here. Okay, I'm going to go and play something that I can actually enjoy for a bit. And I found playing Half-Life this week.
That's cool.
There was a bit.
You changed your sadomasochist ways.
I practically rage quit last night because there was a certain section where you wait for an elevator to come down, or a lift for those of us that speak English, and I got to it, or I got to the the door, and Alex is going, the second character for anyone that doesn't know, she's going, the lift doesn't seem to be working, so you better go off and find what's happened to the power supply. So you go off to the power supply, you turn it back on, and next thing you know, you're going to get swarms of enemies running at you until the lift eventually arrives. And if you die, it doesn't spawn you just at that point. It doesn't spawn you after you finish doing the multi-storey building car park before that, it spawns you before that whole sequence. So you have to spend 10 minutes clearing out the multi-story car park and then get through to the horde room again and then try it again. And I after the third attempt, I had to put it down and go for a walk. And then I came back and I thought, no, I'm pretty sure I'm at the checkpoint. I'm at the end of this part of the game. I will have another go and I will finish it. And I did. And as soon as I saw that checkpoint, it prints up the title of the next section of the game. I'm like, right, save, turn off, thank you.
You're not a totally changed man then, Justin.
But I did turn it off and go take 10 minutes away and then come back. But only because I knew I was right at the edge of it. If I had no idea I was, about to finish that section, and I wasn't playing it for the reason I'm playing it right now, which of course I probably would have gone, it's not worth it.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
So, yeah, I may still have some masochistic tendencies. But,
somewhat tempting.
Yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all anymore. Like Drive Club, for example. If I was playing Drive Club last year, I would have played and kept playing until I've, like I did with with Grid 2.
With Grid, which you didn't like.
Oh, yes, we remember that.
Yeah, I must finish. I must win every race, and I must do it. Thank you very much. I finished the game. Whereas on Drive Club, it's like, yeah, I've done a few. Okay, I'm gonna go and play something else now, and then I'll come back later. Okay, I'm gonna go and play something else, and I float. But with the latest patch, that game is a lot more enjoyable. You've still got stupid AI cars that don't seem to acknowledge that you're on the track, and you still get penalised when they hit you. But yes, you get told off for impact when you've been hit from behind.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but that just proves that I will dabble in games now, rather than play something solidly to the complete exclusion of anything else.
Yeah. Well, that's perhaps the way to do it.
Yeah.
You get less frustrated.
It's the gaming tapas approach, isn't it?
Yeah. What a lovely way to put it.
Isn't it just?
Okay. If you haven't got
I was going to say, who would like to tell their revelations next?
Me.
I'll go, and then we'll let Colm finish, seeing as he's continuing his journey somewhat. Basically, I feel like it's been nice, a bit like you, it's been nice to buy games, but I've become less impulsive with having to have the latest, greatest, newest thing. I think this Christmas more than ever, it's kind of meant dodging a few bullets, because like if you went out and bought Assassin's Creed Unity purely on what you'd seen, and as a fan of Assassin's Creed, you've been pretty peeved when it landed on your doorstep and was barely functional. But then it's also meant that I haven't bought games in sales like I used to. Like the Xbox sale's been pretty good. I thought about buying Thief. I was like, yeah, Victorian kind of era, it's kind of an interesting, you don't see many games, maybe I'll get FIFA. I haven't picked it up yet. I could still do, it's on sale until the end of the month, and we're in the midst of the Steam sale and I haven't bought anything yet. I'm sticking to my guns that I'm only going to buy stuff that's on my wish list and goes to less than $10. It's the stuff that's like, it's got to be like 80% reduced basically.
So basically something in the Steam sale then.
Yeah, because they kind of have these things, don't they, that are on sale at the same time, but they're not part of the like daily and flash sales. So like for example, like Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning's like 15% off or something, but it's not one of the daily flash deals or community choice, so it's not as cheap as it could be.
Right.
Oh, how much is that? I like that game.
I think it's $9.99.
No.
That's in dollars, so it'd be like $4.99 for you.
Yeah, no, I think it works out about the same. It usually works out euros as well, even though, it's not, but usually that's the way it works.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's been cool. it's kind of one of them things now. I'm kind of taking that attitude. If I don't want to play it now or semi now, I'm just not going to bother with it. I can play it later down the line, especially with this giant Dragon Age cloud that's looming over all of us. We all know that it's going to be a long old game, and struggling to find time here or there. I'm not going to finish that anytime soon. I've been, as I said before, I've been banking Xbox 360 games with gold, and I'm gonna try and find a dirt cheap 360. You can get that the 4 gig model now for like $89 here. So I'm gonna see if they go cheaper again after Christmas when there might be an influx of people trading them in after they got the new consoles at Christmas.
Did you not have a 360?
No, I just had a PS3.
All right.
And a Wii. Yeah. So even that though, I've been tempted to pick up some of the 360 games in the sales, but then it's like, that's stupid. Then I'm buying games from a machine I don't even own yet, and may not own for some time. So yeah, that's about it. So Colm, do you want to tell us how your 3 months of like purgatory of not being in a year of shame, but about to re-enter one have been?
One day is just blended into the other. I just failed so badly, as you well know, lads, and so does everybody else on this planet, that I've decided I'm going to do it again and prove myself that I can do it this time. But, I don't think I had some good months I had 1 or 2 good months in the Year of Shame 2 challenge, so... it doesn't, on paper it doesn't look like I did, because, I picked up a Wii U then, and I picked up an Xbox One for my
things
birthday.
like the Wii U, didn't you traded stuff in?
Yeah, I know,
It was the months where you were going, guys, I bought this and this and this and this and this and this. It was kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
You didn't trade anything in for that one, did you? That's when...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Don't give yourself such a hard time.
Yeah, well, I just, I've done better now since I stopped the Year of Shame, so hopefully I'll continue that. And I haven't got a load of games on my list for Christmas like I'd usually have. I'd usually have 3 or 4. So basically, all I'm asking for this year is just 2 DVDs and whatever. That's it. Oh, I did pick up 2 games now that I'm getting for Christmas that were going cheap as well. So. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I haven't changed that much at all. Yeah. So yeah, I said to Sandra, I said, "Here, them 2 games are going cheap. I'll buy them. You give me the money, and you can give me for Christmas." So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to now January, and hopefully I can stay positive.
Yeah.
And but like that, I'm like yourself. Lads, there's loads of sales on Xbox 360 and all that stuff I haven't bothered with. Even on Xbox One, there's been a couple of games that have been going cheap that I would have said, well, feck it, I'll pick it up, but my hard drive's almost full anyway, so...
I guess that's something I picked. I actually bought a new hard drive from my Xbox One, like an external one.
What you get?
I got a 2 terabyte Western Digital drive, and it actually works pretty well. It's seamless. It's as if it's all one hard drive.
All right. So it doesn't come up as 2 separate hard drives on it, then, does it?
No. You can change it so display it all as one, and then you can pick where you want it to actually install the games to.
Right.
But I moved some of the bigger games that I only play occasionally, like Forza. I only have a digital copy of that, so I moved that over. And it runs just as quickly. You'd be surprised.
Right. Okay.
It's worth looking into.
Yeah, my son will be happy. He's asked for that for Christmas, so he'd be happy enough. So.
Yeah. It works perfectly,
Grand.
seamlessly.
That's good, because I've tried on the Wii U to get that up and running.
Oh, yeah.
That's just a disaster. So.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I tried 1 or 2 different drives that I have and different cables, and it starts up, it recognises, and then about 10 minutes into the game it goes, "Ooh, it's gone. Where's it gone?" Your game can't save it, so you have to restart. I still have my USB stick in it, so it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, that's my thoughts and feelings, lads. Extended thoughts and feelings. and I'm looking forward to next year.
Awesome. Well, as Justin mentioned before, we had great community feedback all the way through our run of the podcast. So it seems rather fitting that we're going to end the show on listener mail. So, who would like to read out this first email? I can read it.
I've got it. I've got it handy.
Okay. I've got it on the spreadsheet.
I've got it right in front of me.
Okay, go for it.
From a Stylistic Puppy, otherwise known as Alan. Well, guys, Christmas is almost upon us, and I hope all of you have been good little boys for Santa arriving next week. I would like to thank Justin, Adam and Colm for the previous 12 shows, and also the various guests who joined in on the YoS2 roller coaster. They were all superb. So just a quick side note, thank you for the stand-in hosts who stepped in for Adam when you were busy destroying your laptop and organising weddings and ferrying people around. Personally, I have taken on board a lot of the rules whilst participating in the YoS, so I won't end up in the same situation again in the future. Since finishing, I can confirm I have only purchased one game along with the Games with Gold freebies and EA Access yearly sub. I thought I would have bought a lot more games by now, but the "if I'm not going to play it straight away then don't buy it" rule has kept me in check and stopped me from making those rash purchases. Well done, sir. I applaud you, as that is the same approach I have now. That's me, obviously, not him. Hopefully some of you have been influenced by the YoS rules too and haven't gone back to the old ways. Good luck to Colm on his upcoming second year, and I'll be listening in to hear if he shows any signs of cracking along with the new hosts. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas and have a great 2015. From Alan. I think Colm will be cracking up rather than cracking in breaking his habits this year. I think Stuart is going to have you under such a tight leash that your fear of reprimand is too great to fall this time.
Yeah. I just, I keep seeing that Braveheart,
They can take our lives, but they'll never take our video games.
So yeah, he's a good laugh. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Sent from his Windows phone.
Oh, sorry, I missed that off the bottom. Sent from my Windows phone.
Yeah, one of the few people.
I like the smiley face, which looks like it's a Loco Roco character.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Next up, we got Justin Knowles. And he said, I just wanted to say thanks for the year of entertainment and wishing you all the best for 2015. So thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
And then
Stuart.
Colm.
It's good old Stuart
Colm. I left just as soon as you just
Thanks, lads. Oh, thanks, lads. I'm now wetting myself with fear. At the iOS Challenge 2, if, and in parentheses, when, at Solom 67 fails year 3, what punishment should be given to him? Tar and feathered sounds good. Well tarred and Wii-U'd. Yeah, I just replied to him on Twitter and said I'm ugly enough without being tarred and feathered, so feck it. And yes, Justin, you want to read out one of more Stuart's tweets? Very popular man he is. Hello.
Out with the old, in with the new shiny. Year 2 is so later year. Year 3 is where it's at. Oosh.
Good. These young people.
I know.
I believe he was having a bit of banter with Adam at that point.
I think that was when I'd written that we were coming back for one off or something on Twitter, and then he wrote, "No, can't do it. You guys are old news. Get out of the way."
God, they're such a fickle bunch, our gamers.
So, Colm, I guess we kind of have that natural break because he just said year 3 is where it's at. So, who's joining you in year 3, and when are you guys getting the ball rolling?
Is the feed even ready yet?
It is. I have the at YoS Challenge 3 Twitter account up and running. I'm just waiting for the avatars to be processed. We also did our first introductory podcast last Saturday, so I'm fixing that up at the moment. Then I have to upload it and so forth. So we had a bit of crack, yeah. Well, Stuart is one of them. Maf G is another.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And Connor is the other one.
Joypad.
Yeah, Joypad and me.
Who has just had a baby, so congratulations.
Baby, yes, I believe. Congratulations, Connor, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, very good.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Merry little crew.
Oh, very, very merry, yes.
And
I think we've all...
self-hosting or somebody else?
Well, I don't... I'll do the first show and then we'll take turns sort of thing, you know, that type of thing.
Okay.
Try it that way, but yeah, it should be good. We've got all sorts. We've got PS4 heads, we've got Xbox One fanatics, fanboys, and we've got a PC. Maf G is PC, and I'm more going towards the Nintendo aspect, so we've got all bases covered. So yeah, bit of crack. So yeah,
awesome.
Thank you. And thanks very much, lads, for introducing me to the joys of podcasting. Before the last year, I hadn't a clue about podcasting, but you brought me under your wings and taught me a lot. Even though I still can't speak proper English, but you know, I love to try. So I just want to say it's been a pleasure, and it's good to have you back, Adam. Maybe someday we'll have you as a guest. See how you're getting on.
We can always arrange that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I guess this is our last time as the three, and this is going to be the last show on the YoS2 stream, I would have thought.
Yeah.
If you want, we can record a little bit to direct people from this feed to your other feed so that you get found or something.
Yeah, once the feed's up, I mean, you can record something and I can just not release this show until your feed is live.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Sunday's going to be the earliest that I'm even going to think about editing, and I'll have to put Well,
I can edit if you want to. If you're doing the other.
Well, if you want to have a go at doing this one, then because you're going to be doing obviously YoS going forward, and then it'll make sure that you've got the tracks down as you like.
Haven't I proven myself, Justin?
Yes, but it's different music and different clips. It's like I said though,
and there's more voices as well.
I always found it a lot easier to do YoS because
did you?
Yeah, because I didn't cut things and keep them for outtakes. I wasn't putting in loads of extra tracks. I was just going load everything in first, start, and then every time we went new segment, just go play the same clip again, and then just talk in. That was the beauty of that show, was it was on topic, and the other one kind of we go all over the place.
Thanks to me and my rantings.
Oh, and me. I've just got a beauty for the Play Your Carts Right.
Oh, Grant. Okay, so will we stop this recording?
Yeah, because we'll need.
I guess we should say bye.
Yes, we should say bye.
Let's let's do the sign off, and then do right. If you'd like to, Colm can say if you'd like to follow me on my show, then search for us on iTunes or whatever at this location, or contact me on Twitter for the new details, and then we can stop at that point. And we can have our emotional, heartfelt goodbyes now.
Okay. Without further ado, guys, I think it is time to say goodbye. We all still keep in touch via Twitter, and I guess other people can. So we're going to share our Twitter names one last time for people, just in case they're not already following. So I am at Flameboy84. Justin?
I am at Onya6.
And Colm?
I'm at Salem67. Jeez, forgot about that.
Do you want to say your name again?
Sorry. At Salem67.
Okay. This has been the Year of Shame Challenge 2. just want to say thanks to everyone for listening. It's been one hell of a ride. We've had a lot of fun. This has been a good episode. I've had fun talking to you guys again. So I guess bye. Thank you so much, everyone.
Just whoever's editing this show, can they please not play that Sound of Music so long goodbye music, because that's on an advert at the moment and it's doing my head in. And that doesn't mean edit it in harder.
The whole song.
I want the whole lot. I want, and now the end is near. I got a 12-inch that one, baby.
Well, are you going to do Frank Sinatra? I did it my way, because I think that would actually be quite fitting for how did you do your year of shame? I did it my way.
Jeez, I got a month's worth of outtakes for this one.
Keep this all in.
We're allowed to descend into madness. We kept on topic for the best part of a year, so
classic.
we're allowed to,
as a judge.
Not want to end the show seriously. I mean,
it's been a pleasure, lads.
I totally agree. I think considering Adam put the subtle message to me of should we do it, and I did the same to Colm, and we were three people who weren't really sure of how we'd cope as a unit on the show, and I think we've between us had a blast supporting each other, having the support from the community, and when Colm fell off the wagon.
Numerous occasions.
But we all did to some extent, and hearing us all trying to justify how we bend rules and things like that, I think it was a life-changing experience, and I wouldn't know if I'd be able to replicate it and do it for another year. But best of luck to you for having another go, Colm, because I know that buying games is your thing.
Yeah. As well as buying a few beers at the weekend. That's it. It's been good fun. Good fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Catch you later.
Because I failed so miserably last year, I will do Year of Shame 3. My co-hosts will be Stuart, Connor, and Matt. Stuart, where can they find you?
You can find me at Furious on Twitter or the internet or Xbox or under a rock. Wherever you find me, I'll be there.
Connor, where can they find you?
You can find me writing for joepanamy.com, or you can find me on Twitter under @VDJOMB, or under the same on PSN.
And Matt, where can they find you?
Twitter, it's math, MAFF_G. Xbox, it's mathg or math_G. A combination of something like that normally finds me.
And you can find me, the usual, at Solemn67 or at YoS Challenge 3